Fucking hate when it spawns that fucking far from the goddamn submarine. Like, what the fuck is wrong with Rockstar? Got killed last fucking session by some bitch called Homicidal Queen. This fucking bitch fucking flanked me when I got out of the fucking archive. And it pissed me the fuck off, because I was like, what the fuck? Of course you're gonna do that little cheap shit.
The same point over and over again, just word it slightly differently. That point essentially boils down into not everyone is ever going to like you. Shane Dawson seems to accept this now, and it's up to you, the viewer, whether you continue to like him, support him, and watch his content. Very safe point, I feel, like it's not a jaw-dropping conclusion, is it? Oh no, Shane Dawson's back, and he's making content. You'll have to decide whether to watch it or not. Well done, Alex. Well done, Alex. You've explained the obvious really badly. And these we go back to the last 12 months of his uploads, we can see that the typical subjects of his videos are something along the lines of reacting to a video or an episode of a show or a quiz. TikTok, just bullshit about TikTok, vapid TikTok stars, clickbaiting, personal drama or news for attention, and then the staple, of course, just generally vague clickbait. Those are the four main subjects of I'm Alex's uploads on all of his channels. This, of course, is made even more harrowing and painful when you start to look at the thumbnails and the titles of the videos as well. Suddenly you just begin to get that whiff of BuzzFeed level content, you know? It's filled with vague clickbaity titles. All of the topics seem to be trending drama or gossip, and the fucking, look at the thumbnails, just filled with shocked faces, sad faces. It's just kill me. Every video seems to be something generic, trending, or easy to throw together. I mean, how long does it really take to record yourself just reacting to one video or one episode of something? Not long. Trust me, I've been recording YouTube videos for like 6.5 years now. You could probably record an I'm Alex video in the phones of an hour. And editing would probably not take much longer either.
My mum goes through my camera roll. Bad idea. I personally couldn't imagine anything worse than my mum going through my camera roll, because there is stuff in there that people really don't need to see. Wait, why is that on screen? I didn't put that out. I didn't take that down, please. Sorry, Mum.
To be clear, videos that don't take much editing can still be good. There's plenty of really funny reaction content out there, but that's the main difference. A lot of the other reaction content is actual good content that you don't mind. Also, a lot of the good reaction content just seems to have more effort put into it anyway on the editing department. Maybe that's just me, but this is bottom feeder, come on.
But already, I'm disappointed, and we're barely even 5 seconds into this video.
The main source of variety, if you want to call it that, in I'm Alex's videos is which guests appear in his videos from time to time. I'm Alex is part of a little British group of YouTubers that's made up of people like Memulus, Will N.E., James Marriott, and those four in particular all seem to collaborate with each other quite a lot, as we'll see later on in this video. Memulus seems to collaborate with I'm Alex most frequently these days. I don't really have any issues with Memulus. He makes the same sort of content as I'm Alex. It's just, slightly better quality, and, Memulus isn't a snake as well. And yet, even if I'm not a huge fan of Memulus's videos as well, he is easily funnier than I'm Alex all the time, both in Memulus solo videos and in I'm Alex collab videos. Memulus is just funnier.
Watch out! It looks like they have a whole team.
This is me when I play Fortnite Battle Royale. Watch out! Who the fuck plays video games? I hate that whenever, like,
Here goes, y'all. Getting some water. You gotta be shitting me. What the fuck is this?
Okay, guys, he's not actually a sociopath. He never actually killed someone. He only think about it. He reveals in his chat that he's got a girlfriend called Ashley, but he makes it very clear that he's only with her because of the sex. He doesn't love her at all. He just wants sex.
Fuck
He
you.
knows that the free will is a fabricated concept. It's not a real thing, and so therefore he can bone his girlfriend anything he wants, regardless.
Not
She says,
cool.
he for some reason states that
How the fuck did I get caught?
some scum. So
That just makes no motherfucking sense whatsoever. What fucking soever.
in the grand scheme of things, he's simply
But whatever.
territory, as all primitive animals do. That's literally how he tries to justify this. Chapter 3. Onision beats up a load of bullies. Because he's an alpha male, guys. Remember that. He beats up like 4 or 5 people, just like in the last book. He smacks one of them in the throat, he breaks another one's arm, and he gets aroused by the snapping noise.
I guess I'm just gonna be hacking.
Surprisingly so, I might have just felt arousal from how tremendous it
Well, maybe I would have completed it if your fucking game made sense, Rockstar.
Don't worry about it. I mean, you just broke some
I didn't run into any fucking cameras. I didn't do shit. I played the game as intended. I'm not playing with other fucking people who are a low fucking level, and I'm not splitting this fucking shit. You got me fucked up.
us that he has a lot of sex with Ashley now. So while Onision was away in juvenile detention, his dad managed to get hold of his laptop and read a load of his stuff, including this diary that he's apparently writing. And so obviously his dad has read that they had sex without a condom, and so quite understandably forbids Onision from seeing her again. But I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, that's a pretty sensible decision made by an adult in this book for once. But of course, this just annoys Onision. He remarks about how much he hates his dad. He remarks how good sex with Ashley is. Apparently it's the only thing worth living for. He then foreshadows a big old tragic backstory because, you know, he hasn't thrown himself a pity party in a while. We'll get back to the tragic backstory later. Again, it's the thing I hate the most about this book. He then proceeds to spend the rest of this chapter shitting on vegetarianism. This is my vegetarian body! I don't want to eat fake cheese just because they want to. Try something different than cow dairy. Of course, something with a spine would eject, so I did. What happens is oh my god, here we go.
The Kardashians have redefined the American dream.
Kimberly calculated from the beginning. How do I become famous?
Literally no one knows. My family doesn't.
Something with a spine would eject, so I did. What happens as a result? Insanity. I thought Onision was a vegetarian. Why are you shitting on vegetarianism here? My father didn't like the idea of me leaving the table without eating the meal. As I began to leave, he screamed out, "Call the cops," to his girlfriend. She immediately proceeded to the phone in the kitchen and began dialing. Yes, you heard that right. Onision refuses to eat peasant vegetarian food and literally gets arrested for it. So Onision throws himself a pity party. He remarks about how he hates his dad, dad's girlfriend, how the police are stupid, and then he decides that he's going to join the military because it's the only way to apparently escape his house. There isn't a bit in chapter 2 where he mentions that he might, or that he's always thought about it. No, suddenly he's just going to join the military out of nowhere. Chapter 9. Onision fucks off to the military. It just happens. He just gets accepted into the military and drafted away in like half a page. It's really shit. Not very much happens in this chapter. He just kind of describes his new base, the new people he's meeting. He describes his new sergeant, Sergeant Johnson. She's apparently abusive towards her troops and has large breasts. So obviously, Onision really wants to fuck her. He then spends the rest of the chapter reminding us that he's an alpha male. That's it.
Bro, you've actually got to be kidding me.
He's been in training camp for a while now. He hasn't seen Ashley in ages, so he decides to call her, and she just doesn't remember who he is. And then she does remember, and she's like, "Oh yes, Gregory. Of course, it's you. How could I forget the big alpha male that took my virginity?" Because, you know, people talk like that in real life. Onision basically gets cucked by his girlfriend here. They then have a surprise hostage drill. Someone comes into their camp and pretends to take one of the trainees hostage. None of them do anything about it. They all just kind of stand there, completely taken aback. And Onision then reflects on this and calls himself a pussy, basically. First he gets cucked by his girlfriend, and then he cucks himself. All in one chapter. This is the kind of content I like. Chapter 11. Onision has found a new characterless love interest. Rory was a cute short girl with brown eyes and dyed blonde hair. She was discouraged by the military dress code for having dyed hair, but she clearly didn't care. Much like every other female character he's written, she has no character, no personality. She just kind of mindlessly adores Onision.
Dude, this is why I don't fucking play with people. Have $65 to my fucking name.
Physical with him. And now there's Rachel, who Onision basically...
You're gonna be a CEO and do the heist and shit.
Onision also tells us that she's not of his race. We did it, guys. Onision's did weird fetish books. Suddenly the babe starts encouraging...
Oh, that's right. Why would I be able to fucking do this?
Massive shit for being crazy violent. You remember...
Oh my god. This is supposed to be easy.
Army person starts hitting on...
This is really beginning to piss me off. How many people are awake at fucking 5 a.m.?
Because he's a special boy. The colonel who now loves Onision decides to give him a load of special training. There is literally then a
Gotta go to a fucking invite session only to do a fucking heist.
he sent to
people need to stop fucking joining me. Either follow my fucking lead, or just don't play with me at all. Like, I would love to get secondary loot, but I would love to have someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. Because I actually know what the fuck I'm doing. And of course, I have to go to my own fucking session. Oh my fucking god.
Also introduced to Greg's friend character.
Once again,
that is some of the worst English I've ever fucking heard.
why on earth do they go aggro?
He even says he's got a hero complex. Like, so Elysion decides to go and confront these bullies. He steps out of class and he threatens them with a baseball. Not a baseball bat, a baseball. And then the bullies are just like, oh no, a baseball and an alpha Chad. Oh dear, let's beat it, fellas. He goes home, David comes around to visit, keeps making weird, inappropriate comments about his sister, who Elysion reminds us that is fat. So then they go to the creek and they decide they want to shoot things with bows and arrows they've made. I just don't question it, but Elysion, the good, sensible, and heroic moral figure that we all love, decides that he doesn't want to shoot living things, because that would be bad. Even though, like, 2 chapters ago, you fantasized about a bus blowing up, killing, alright, fuck it, whatever. So they decide instead to shoot a load of dead fish. They start nailing them with arrows, and then the chapter on
This is gonna be great.
the fish were
Not.
alone. Well, of course they weren't, Elysion, because you're never alone when you're with God. Chapter 6. So it turns out there's a dead body in the creek. So it wasn't quite Jesus. Elysion describes it as the body of a dead woman in a skimpy pink dress. He makes it very clear that this carcass is dressed in a skimpy pink dress. You know, these are the kind of details you need. Elysion gets traumatized by seeing the dead body. To be fair, an 11-year-old witnessing a dead body, that would probably mess with you a bit. But instead of dealing with this respectfully or doing something clever with it, Elysion just uses it as an excuse to throw himself a pity party. Fucking grief, this man's ego is ridiculously fragile. That's the only thing I've learned from reading these books. This man's ego is fucking glass. So after a couple of pages of throwing himself a pity party, Elysion then decides that he's just fine. He goes back to school and he asks Aubrey on a date. Aubrey, for some reason, is like, oh God, I'd love to, but I have to ask my parents' permission. And while this is all going down, Philip the bully is in the background being a pain in the ass. So Elysion decides that it's time to go out for Chad mode. He goes up to Philip and he just decimates him, wipes the floor with him. It's funny, you know, this kind of rings a bell. Elysion portraying himself as an alpha Chad, beating the shit out of someone to impress a characterless woman. I don't know, I think I've heard this before. I can't quite put my finger on it. Elysion and Philip both get called to the principal's office because, well, Elysion kicked the fuck out of this guy. And as always, the principal's just like, no, it's fine, bruh. Don't worry about it. Just be good next time, don't do it again. He gets off completely scot-free, and that's the end of the chapter. Chapter 7. Warning. This is where it gets really weird. So it is announced at the beginning of this chapter that Philip has somehow fallen into the creek and died. Like at the end of chapter 6, he was in school, he was perfectly healthy, and then suddenly, without any kind of explanation, he's just instantaneously in the creek, dead. Elysion tells his friends and his family about this. Joanna, his sister, exclaims that she's too obsessed with her new boyfriend to care about it. And I don't think David even notices. I think he's just brain dead at this point. He has another fever dream about aliens, and he compares the movements of the alien to the movements of a child in his school with Tourette's. I'm not making that up. So I have in my notes, alien attacks/studies him isn't made clear because Elysion can't write for shit. He then tells alien to leave him alone. Somehow by doing this, he realizes he's not dreaming, but astral projecting into space. You heard that right, folks. This book just casted off into what the fuck land. He fights off the alien like a big, massive alpha Chad hero and then spends the rest of the chapter whinging. I don't even care. Most of this book is completely pointless anyway. Chapter 8. You thought it was weird last chapter? Oh, fuck me. So this chapter opens with Elysion asleep in class. He hasn't been sleeping very much because of all his weird fever dreams about the aliens. David comes up to him and is like, hey bro, why are you sleeping in class? And Elysion's like, oh, I keep having weird hallucinogenic dreams about aliens. It's really distressing and upsetting. And then David's like, lol, okay bro, I don't care. Let's go play kickball. So they go and play kickball, whatever that is. And Greg uses it as an excuse to get closer to the creek because apparently there's an ominous red glow coming from it.
I think we got it this time. Fucking finally. I don't even have enough to make myself happy, but hey.
David quite understands what the fuck. It's about the only normal thing he does in this book. So Elysion wanders through the woods for a while and finds a dead deer. And he concludes from this that the red glow he saw in the creek symbolized symbolizes death. Suddenly, get this, Onision has the sixth
Bike.
sense to detect
Go for the bike.
as sound makes up
Go for the bike.
and he immediately goes
Go
back
for the
to
bike.
creek and finds a lot more dead
Keep
animals.
going,
He then
keep
ponders
going,
who could have
keep
killed the animal,
going.
because there's no kind of wildlife in his local area that could have done it. And all this speculation and weird fucking sixth sense shit leads absolutely nowhere. It's got no impact on the plot whatsoever. 2 chapters later, it has virtually been forgotten about already. He's just such a bad writer. Chapter 9. It is now spring break, and Onision concludes that he wants to spend the whole of it locked in his room playing video games. Spring break had come. I was sitting in my room looking at my old TV.
Alright, you can fucking swim faster.
In front of me. The characters all look like hip young adults. Something that I decided to be. How do you unironically write that? Put it in a book. What the fuck? His mother then announces that she's having a friend over for dinner, but this friend is incredibly fragile, so Onision must be careful about what he says, and he must be nice to her. Onision then breaks the fourth wall, and again just stops the flow of the book. What little flow the fuck it is. To explain why he's decided to include this in the book. Sorry, with all due respect, right? Actually, no respect at all. 90% of all your books have just been completely pointless trivia, and never once have you ever bothered to explain why you put any of it in. And yet suddenly this is where you draw the line. Now this is a bit too absurd, guys. I better explain to my wonderful emo audience why I'm putting this in my shitty fan fiction book. So I have in my notes, Onision uses his emo I see dead people.
Yay, a little fucking envelope that means literally nothing.
About it. This then just casually comes up in conversation because people apparently talk like this, and Onion's mum recommends she goes to ER. This book is genuinely like a fever dream. Like, it's kind of ironic. Onision keeps having fever dreams in this book.
How am I supposed to not get detected?
It's like a fever dream. So
How?
Onision decides to try
How?
to speak to David about it. David
I literally did nothing to get detected.
And so then Onision just fucks off and concludes, somehow, that the special ed kid earlier, do you remember the one that he compared to the movements of the alien? He concludes that he must be behind all the weird stuff that's been going on in the creek. How does he conclude this? I don't know. He just somehow knows this. Again, there is no kind of flow or plot or structure to any of these books. Just accept it. There's no point getting bogged down about it. We'll just move on. Seriously though, when you think about it, what group of people has Onision not offended yet in these books? Chapter 10. I have written in my notes.
A CRM shouldn't set your teams back.
I will assume you made it through the uncharted tunnel and into the den of strung-out militiamen. Good. Things are going according to plan, huh?
Acaba de irse. Hace nada estaba preguntando por usted.
That must have been answered. If you wish to open double keycard system, only way is with 2 people. We have its location locked. From the lack of terrified screams, I will assume you made it through the uncharted tunnel and into the den of strung-out militiamen. Good. Things are going according to plan, huh?
Acaba de irse.
Okay, so don't kill anybody, basically.
That must have been answered. If you wish to open double keycard
system. Only way is with 2 people. We have its location locked. A good reason to come back. Watch out for these.
I'm gonna remember that next time, because then I'll get more fucking money. That shit pissed me the fuck off. Literally don't kill anybody at all? Okay, I can do that. Just the guards up at the top then, the red ones.
Uncharted tunnel and into the den of strung-out militiamen. Good. Things are going according to plan, huh? Now, let's see what he has for us in the vault this time.
No sé.
I was making so much money with DoorDash. I wanted to earn money in my free time, but I didn't want to go out and get a boring 9-to-5. That's when I found out how much money my friend was making with DoorDash.
At the end of 2022, Rockstar Games changed the Cayo Perico heist. All of the guards on the island now will detect dead bodies, which will break stealth. This means that all of the routes people were using before 2022 are now kind of irrelevant and need to be changed. Fret not, in this video I'll be showing you the updated, most effective and consistent guide to complete the Cayo Perico heist elite challenge with perfect stealth. If you follow the exact route that I'll be showing you in this video, you shouldn't have any problems at all, and you can make millions of dollars just like usual. Let's get into it. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be awesome. Subscribe for more stuff like this, and let's go. First things first, the setup screen. The approach vehicle we're going to be using is the Longfin, infiltration point, main dock. We're going to be entering the compound from the drainage tunnel. Escape point does not matter at all. That's because you can jump off the island anywhere and escape, so this doesn't matter. Time of day is up to you. And for weapon loadouts, I would either recommend Aggressor or Conspirator. If you're on console, I would 100% recommend Aggressor. If you're on PC, you might be able to get away with Conspirator, which is what I did here, but I still kind of regret that choice. Honestly, go with Aggressor. And of course, don't forget to equip suppressors. So, once we get in the heist, the first thing we're actually going to do is get all of our secondary loot. And to do that, we're going to go up to the airstrip. The reason for this is because it's the most consistent and easy location to get the secondary loot. Technically, main dock could be faster if you absolutely nail it, but there's a lot more enemies and a much higher chance of getting detected. This is the most consistent route, which is what I'm trying to show you, and it's only going to take about another minute. Once we're at the airstrip, park your long fin somewhere close to the island so it doesn't drift too far away. And what you do from here depends on where the best secondary loot spawns for you. This, of course, you would have scoped out in your actual gather intel mission. If you need to know which secondary loot is best and how much it's going to pay, Rockstar actually changed that in 2022 as well, so I'll leave a link at the top of the description to the video where I broke down all the primary and secondary loot values. For me, the first bit of loot I wanted to get was in the hangar over here. Now, there are some enemies at the airstrip that you can no longer kill because they're going to get detected. But this guy here is not one of them. You can take him out and just walk straight into the hangar, or if you wanted to, you could sneak past him, but I just like to take him out. I had to go up to the top here to get the weed, so I grabbed the forklift, come over here, grab these boxes on the crate, and make your way up here.
Self-sufficiency, infiltrating private islands on your own. In Russia, we bring friends, and our friends bring bags. More money in bags. Perhaps next time, yes? By the way, don't worry about leaving space in your bag for main objective. I have crafted special compartment for it. Cushioned, of course. I remember I once ran mission at a nuclear reactor. Everything went smoothly until we realized how heavy is a brick of plutonium. Very heavy. Take my advice. You need to run fast. Pack light.
After you come out of the hangar, you'll see these two enemies here. You can no longer take these guys out, at least not easily, because they're going to get detected by the car that comes through here. So the only way you could actually take these guys out is if you wanted to take out the driver of the car as well, but it's just not worth it. What you want to do instead is come this way and jump up on this roof. This guard over here, you're going to have to be careful of him. I'll show you that in a second. But while we're on the roof here, we want to take out the guard that's on the balcony.
I really don't care anyway.
Take out the camera down here and make our way into the secondary loot location. Take out the camera down here and make our way into the secondary loot location. Here, you're going to have to be careful of him. I'll show you that in a second of the car as well, but it's just not worth it. What you want to do instead is come this way and jump up on this roof. This guard over here, you're going to have to be careful of him. I'll show you that in a second, but while we're on the roof here,